Today we are looking at a 8-in-1 USB hub which is capable of 100-watt power delivery and USB 3.1. Please note this product was sent to me for free for review, and if you'd like to pick it up and also support my channel, you can find a link down below. Before we get into the review, I want to say this is the first USB hub I have reviewed, and I don't have all of the tools to fully review it, so I just want to put that up front straight away. But I'll be giving you a bit more of a hands-on review of this product. Okay, let's take a look at this thing in action. So you'll see here, I have my data cable coming in from my PC, and this is a power cable. Now, I don't actually have a 100-watt power adapter. This one is 20 watts, I believe. I'm not actually sure if it combines the power from these two cables. I will try and find out and let you know. There is also a button over here which lets you turn on the really cool screen. So what I've been using this for myself is I have my dongle here for my headphones. So I use that in the standard USB slot. And you'll see once we plug that in, it shows up as a 2.0 USB, which is really cool. So if you plug a USB 3.1 into this, it will actually be able to detect it on this screen. This is just a transmitter, so it doesn't need to have fast data speeds. So that's why it shows up as a USB 2.0. Okay, as an example, let's plug in my Passport Ultra. So this is 3.1 capable. So this doesn't always work when I plug this in. Sometimes it shows up as 2.0. So let's plug this in. Sorry for the camera angle. So there you go. That time it did show as 3.1. And we have our transfer speed, possible transfer speed there. So I don't actually have the capability to test everything this product offers. So I don't have HDMI that's going to work with this. And I don't know why it doesn't seem to display the charging speeds of something you have plugged in, which would have been a really nice extra. It's also worth mentioning when you have a USB hub like this, if it says it's 3.1 compatible, there's a whole bunch of things you need to keep in mind. So for example, you may have a 3.1 capable device. So let's just say this smartphone is capable of utilizing USB 3.1. Not only does this need to be 3.1 compatible and your hub, but also the cables going between each of the points has to be a 3.1 compatible cable. So it can get a bit messy pretty quickly. Like me, you probably have a whole bunch of these cables lying around, but making sure they're actually compatible with the USB standard you're trying to use is another thing. Generally, I find that the cables seem to be a bit thicker, meaning they can handle more data throughput and usually more power as well. So a thicker cable is usually a good indicator, but if you want to buy them, you can find them on eBay and Amazon. If you put USB 3.1 or 3.2, depending on what you're looking for, you can normally find them pretty easy. They are more expensive than the USB 2 cables, which is another problem in itself. Depending how many of these cables you need, it can add up pretty quickly, so do bear that in mind. So I now have my older phone here plugged in, charging up. I have my Passport Ultra. I've got my dongle for my headphones. And let's also plug in this micro SD, which is an extreme version. And you'll see the little micro SD icon labeled TF turns on. Would have been cool if it did show maybe some kind of extra speed specification as well. That would be pretty cool. One thing I think is a bit of a missed opportunity. I don't really know how complicated it would be to do, but I'd love to know how much power is being, outputted from this, or maybe if it showed what speed my phone was charging at in watts. I think that would be really cool. So I really like this screen they have here. It makes the product feel a lot more premium. So I would say if only they expanded on that, it'd be really cool. Maybe if the screen was bigger, maybe if when you had this on your desk, if there was some way you could actually raise the screen up so you could see what was going on, that would be really cool. But I do like the compact shape and design and finish of this USB hub. It does have a premium feel all round. It has like a glass finish on top and underneath as well. The USB ports all feel good quality. Unfortunately, I can't really run this through the Gambit as I don't really have the means to completely push this to its limits, i.e. plug, everything in that's 3.1 and do a bunch of data transfers and stuff like that. I only have like one device that I can do 3.1 with, or I don't have enough cables. So sorry about that, I can't really push this to its limits and really test out their specifications, but the 3.1 speeds do work. I've tried transferring files off of my Passport Ultra and they do transfer at 100 megabytes a second. So I'll show you a little demonstration of that as well. But in future, if you have any tips on what I should look out for when I'm testing USB hubs, as this is the first one I've reviewed, do let me know down below and I'll test that in future reviews. Here I have my project files from my Passport Ultra. So these are my DaVinci Resolve project files. Let's try and drag in one of these off. And let's take a look at the transfer speed. So we are getting 104 megabytes a second. So maxing out those speeds. And this really does make a difference if you're transferring large files. For me, when I'm backing up my projects, or transferring all my project video files over, it's gonna like half your transfer time, so it is gonna make quite a considerable difference. I do really like the fact that you can have an extra power supply going into this USB hub, so not only can it be a USB hub for your computer, you've also got basically a power station up to 100 watts, so you're gonna be able to charge things at a pretty fast rate. Unfortunately, this isn't going to pass through fast charging standards. So for example, I have a fast charger for my Galaxy S24 Ultra. I can't remember the correct fast charging term that it uses. There's a bunch of different ones, like Qualcomm's fast charging, that won't actually pass through this device into your phone, so just bear that in mind. It's only going to support the maximum wattage, and your phone needs to be able to receive that, or the device you have plugged in. It's not going to pass through any quick charging technologies, if that makes sense. So something I need to clarify, from my understanding, when you have the power delivery cable going into here, this power is only fed out through this C to PC cable. If I'm understanding this correctly, I don't think the power is shared amongst all these other slots. So if you have a power cable going into here, that is only shared back through this C to PC cable here. So if you had this plugged into a laptop, you could charge the laptop at 100 watts if it of course supports PD version 3. This product does get quite warm and you may be able to hear the fan that's kicked in. I'll shut up in a second and I'll see if the phone picks it up. You'll see underneath these cables at the back there is a little vent to release the heat. So I've had to change from my default camera here so I can show you this on my smartphone. So the quality and the audio quality may have changed. If it has, I'm sorry about that. So you'll see I can plug in my Galaxy S24 Ultra, which does have I think 3.2 USB support. So if we plug this in, you'll see it then shows up on the device as 3.1. Bearing in mind, if you want to plug in cables to test this, not only does the cable need to be 3.1 or above, for you to get this confirmation, the device itself has to be 3.1. So for example, this cable that BlitzWolf supplies you with is capable of 3.1 USB. But if I was to plug in a device that didn't support USB 3.1, this would show as USB 2. So just bear that in mind. If you want to know if your cable, the cable itself, is capable of using USB 3.1, make sure the device you're plugging it into is also capable as well. Otherwise you'll get a misleading reading. So here's an example of me actually demonstrating this. You see it's not showing up at the moment because I don't have it plugged in. I actually have Samsung's official lead that came with this phone. So let's plug that in real quick. And you'll see it shows as 2.0 because Samsung are cheapskates and they give you a 2.0 cable even though this device is capable of USB 3.2, which I think is really annoying considering, you know, you can pay like £1,000 upwards for this phone. Samsung, why are you giving us a crappy cable with a £1,000 phone? That doesn't make no sense. Anyway, so after using this product for a while, I have enjoyed using it. Let me switch back to my other camera, which is better. So while this is warring away in the background, I'm going to do the final thoughts on this product. So currently, Banggood have this on a flash sale for £26, and you can also get free shipping. So for this kind of price, this isn't going to be the cheapest USB hub you can get with a 3.1 standard, but for the premium finish and feel for this product, I do think that price is kind of justified, as it does have a premium look and feel, and I did like adding this to my desk setup because, as I said, it just looks and feels quite premium, and I really like this screen. Although it's not necessarily the most practical thing in the world, it does give you that USB reading, which is really handy because I can make sure that my cables and my devices support the right USB standard, which just, there you go, you may have heard the fan turn off there because I unplugged all the stuff. Because you can then test that and then remove cables that aren't 2.0 compatible or devices, and then you'll know which is which. So if you're thinking of picking up this product, so far my time with it has been pretty positive, and if you want to know updates on if I've had any issues with it or anything like that, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. I really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, please leave a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing for more videos like this one, and of course I will see you in the next one.